So I'm here with Bailey
What's
at the
up?
Guitar Center in Orlando.
Sharp
The
axe.
wife doesn't give me a lot of time to select anything, so we found this McCarty 594. It's got a better top than the one that's brand new in there, and we're gonna just wrap it up and get it out of here.
Cool.
Thank you. This, let's get the wife in here. Okay, so she comes in and I'm immediately rushed. She's asking, look, so that was the impossible task of shopping for a guitar with the family. Absolutely impossible task. Okay, many people who tune into my channel may have seen my video recently where I went to Orlando and purchased a used PRS S2 594 McCarty, right? Now, here's the deal. When I went shopping for that guitar, I was rushed by my wife. I didn't have a lot of time. I had to make a quick decision and try to get the best deal I could, because here's the deal. Guitar Center had a deal with 26-month financing on used gear. And the other thing is you can often find the best deals in the used department. Now, PRS probably makes the most consistent quality guitar made in the U.S. At least the biggest brand and the most consistent. You know, they're right up there with Fender and Gibson. But PRS, I think they hold their stuff to a higher standard, or at least it seems, right? So, and I want to point out what I bought was this S2, this, believe it or not, with this incredible top. This is a three-dimensional top. It literally changes pattern depending on the angle that you look at it. But this is an S2, which is the more affordable line. Now, this guitar would normally run about $23.98, somewhere around there. And here's the deal, man. Previous versions of these guitars would have import pickups, the S model pickups, the same guitars used in the import models, and it would have import electronics. But PRS has recently made it so that these guitars have USA pickups, which is a major upgrade, right? And they also have these newer tuning pegs, these plastic key pegs, which I think give it more of a, say, vintage, let's say, perhaps Gibson-esque look, right? But this guitar, right, is a model. They call these the S2s, right? It doesn't have the same carves that the more expensive models have. But like I said, this one has an incredible top that literally changes depending on the angle you look at it. Now, I've got here, just to show you, this is a different model, but this is a custom 24 that I've had for a while now. And you can see this has got a really insane top, but this is a much thinner guitar. This has a modern pickup that it comes with. This comes with more, I guess maybe these are abalone inlays. These are definitely more ornate. This has body binding, if you could see, like a scraped edge binding. This particular model of guitar, the Custom 24, is a lot thinner, of more modern guitar. Mine has the pattern thin neck. This is more like an LP, like a Les Paul. This has got that thick, chunky neck. This has a thicker body, right? And this gives you more of a chunky vintage tone. Now, here's the deal. In the haste of having to purchase this and make a choice very quickly, I did look at the pickups, because knowing that this had the new tuning pegs on it, and that it's a 2024, and you could tell the date by looking at that 24 right there, right? It says, is it 24? So that tells you the year. And that's when they started putting USA pickups. Now, like I said, I had to purchase this very quickly. So I looked and saw that the pickups were etched right there. There's a little etch, and I don't know if you could see that, but you could see the model number of the pickups is etched in. And I looked and I saw the etch, and I go, this is USA pickups. I got this for around $1,400. They're normally $2,300. Now, this is something that people that watch my channel might want to look for, because there's tons of S2s on the market, but most of the S2s on the market have the old import pickups, and they're fine and they sound, great, but they're not as good as the USA pickups and the USA electronics. If you're looking for one of these, and here's the deal, because so many S2s are on the market, used S2s, and most of them have the import pickups, the system at a lot of these big box retail stores, they don't know the difference, perhaps price-wise, that these should be valued more. So you can find one of these at a heck of a price with these tuners with the USA pickups. Now, how long that's going to continue, I don't know. But you can find these pretty much at the same price as the old import, pickup models. And this is 100% made in USA. This is different than the SE models. All of the SE models in PRS, those are all, I guess these days, made by Court, right? Most of those are made currently in Indonesia. And they're great guitars. But if you're looking to get a USA made guitar, now look at the difference. These inlays are just, they're just kind of plain. If you compare them side by side, you see the difference in the quality of the inlays. You see that this has no body binding. This, on the other hand, does. Now, if you look at the thickness, this particular model, the 594, is considerably thicker than this. This even thins out even more as it gets, towards the middle of the instrument. But this is going to give you a more vintage tone. And here's the catch. So I go in the store. I've got very little time to make a purchase. And I see it. It's got the tuning pegs. I look, I see etching on the pickups. I go, this is all USA made instrument. It's a good price. It's the best deal in the store right now. This is the budget that I have to pick up something for my birthday, right? So I get this guitar, right? I get home. I demo the guitar. I love the way it sounds. The pickups, these humbucking pickups are very single coil in their clarity. Get great squishy blues tones. I mean, it almost sounds like a beefed up Strat or a Tele on steroids. So I assume that this has the 5815 LT, which stands for low turn pickups, because that's what comes in this model now, currently, of the S2 594 McCarty, right? But no, I realize the next day when I get time to sit with this and I polish it, that these pickups, they say 5708. 5708. And let me double check this second one. Yeah. 5708 TM. 5708 TM. Now, I'm not sure if you can read that, but that is not the stock pickups. So there's a lesson right there. If you're buying a used guitar, you know what? Maybe travel with one. You've got your phone, so you can always look on your phone to see what pickups are supposed to be in this guitar. And here's the other thing. It probably wouldn't hurt to have a guitar tool in your pocket to open up the back cavity, because I'll tell you another story. One time I bought a used Epiphone SG Custom, cool looking guitar. It was cheap enough. It had an extra, somebody had added a coil tap switch on it. But it looked like a clean job, and I got it for a good price, and so I bought it, right? But when I get home and I open up that back panel, right, I see that the wiring job, whoever did the work was very fond of electrical tape and poor soldering jobs. So I was kind of dismayed when I saw how poorly it was wired inside. But you know what? The guitar worked fine. I think I eventually sold it. That guitar had been featured on another YouTuber out of Nashville on his channel. And so I said, hey man, I bought this guitar, Guitars tend to come and go in a guitar player's life, right? And part of this channel, there will be stuff that gets sold and there'll be stuff that stays. But this does not have the stock pickups. This has 5708s. And I believe these are Alnico 2 magnets. Now, these pickups, and you're going to hear them played some more, in this video. I'll shoot another clip. They're very, have tons of clarity. They're very fat, almost single coil sounding pickups. They're not hot at all. They're supposed to be a vintage path, right? They're Alnico 2. And I've had previously a 594 McCarty that was a core model, right? And it had the 5815 low turn pickups. Well, I really liked those. But something hit me when I played this for the first time the other day and plugged it into, my system and recorded a little clip. I said, man, I really like this pickups. This guitar is really ripping and it's super easy to play. And I really liked the 594 I had before, but something about this one really seems special. So, I know people like certain types of pickups. People like certain types of sounds. Some people like the sound of a hot pickup. And I'm at the age now, and as you get older, I like clarity in pickups. I don't like dark, super hot pickups that overdrive an amp when I'm not trying to overdrive it. I'm not looking to get an edge from my pickups. What I want the pickup to do is pick up what I'm playing and all the nuances and still have all the sparkle and high end and all of that retained. But these pickups, I had never played the 5708s before. And man, I really dig them. It seems like they brought them back. PRS had them for a while and then replaced them, I believe, with the 5815. but they've quietly brought these pickups back. I think they have a cult following of people that really like the way they sound. Now, as far as resale value or something, I could have probably argued, if I'd have known that these are not the stock pickups, I probably could have argued and gotten maybe an even lower price on this instrument. Because, some people might like the 5708s, but, it's easier to sell a guitar that's bone stock, right? Because people are usually looking, if you're trying to buy that instrument, they're usually looking to buy it with the stock pickups. But man, that's a lesson that you learn. You've got your phone on you. You've got your, and all the information on the internet. And if I'd had more time, I would have seen that this says 5708, not 5815. And instead of just glancing at it and go, oh, yep, these are PRS pickups, because these are PRS pickups. These are expensive pickups, and they are, great pickups for this particular guitar. And when I did open up the cavity here, it was a very clean soldering job, and it looked professional and all of that. But man, it's something to note that you really gotta take your time when you're buying this stuff. And like I said, with my wife there and my kid and everything, they just wanted me to just grab something and go. But what you really should do when you buy something is examine everything about it. Check that look down it, make sure the neck is straight, make sure the tuning pegs work, plug it in. I barely got to plug this in and hear it. And I didn't even get to hear it with the clean tone, because the amp, they had some bad cat amp that I could plug into, and it was like I couldn't even find the clean channel on it. Normally, man, as you get older, hearing something with high gain, normally just give me a clean channel. Let me see what it sounds like clean. I can always add more gain. You can always, hear something like that. But getting to hear and make sure that everything works on the guitar. Make sure the tone control. This has got, pull, so you can split these pickups. But man, these pickups are they're so single coil sounding already that I don't even think I'll even want to pull up on this to thin it out anymore. It's already has all of that sparkle and chime. But man, the lesson here is, when you're purchasing a used instrument, whether it's from a private seller or from a store or whatever, be prepared to take the time and really examine what you're getting. Because sometimes you get home, and this has happened a few times for me. I get home and open it up, and sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised, and then sometimes I'm like, okay, this made the deal not quite as good. But in this case, I really like the sound of the 5708 pickups, and I still think this was a great deal. So if you're looking for these guitars, these particular S2s that are the newer ones, look for something 2024 and up. Look for these plastic, and I even saw on the Guitar Center website, they had a single cut version of this same guitar with these tuning pegs and the good pickups, and they're priced very fairly because there's so many S2s already out there. But if you were to buy an older S2, say 2023 and older, it's going to have import pickups. It's going to have import electronics. But if you take your time and search, you can find one of the newer ones, or you find one that maybe somebody's upgraded. Maybe somebody's put a $400 set of, boutique pickups in an S2. You never know, man. Sometimes when you open these things up, you go, holy crap, this has got these really expensive pickups in it. and you just got a great deal. You could end up putting stock pickups back in something and then flipping the pickups and making a few bucks. So these are all things to think about when you're doing a guitar hunt looking for used guitars.